What's happening, folks? Back with another Psybient reaction. I wanted to give a big shout out to Kim at the front of the video. Really appreciate you not only in terms of your insightful comments about Tears for Fears and recently Soft Cell, and also your good sense of humor, that one comment thread in particular. But yeah, I enjoy that you're willing to explore different sonic territories, including, places that are perhaps outside, any avenues that you've explored before. It really makes me happy. So the fact that you're checking out Pablo Gargano acid trance tunes and psychedelic Psybient tunes, while again informing me about Tears for Fears and so on, it just really makes my day. So big shout out to you. And in that regard, I want to keep the Psybient ambient, down-tempo, chill-out, progressive, or chill-gressive as it's sometimes called. I want to keep this playlist going. So we're going to listen to another tune by Zymosis. Now I mentioned I reacted to a tune where it was Tentura versus Zymosis. And I mentioned in that video Zymosis, it's a chill-out project, down-tempo project from Kiev, Ukraine. And originally it was a duo. It was Dmitry and someone named Grigory. But Grigory is no longer in the group. It's just Dmitry now. So we're going to listen to, oh wow, there's apparently a new album that I don't even know about, and it came out like 2 years ago. My goodness. Well, more on that later, surely. But for now, we're going to listen to an album, or a tune from an album he made 10 years ago. This is an album called Between 2 Points. It came out on the Canadian downtempo label Alter Records, which is run by DJ Zen, originally from France and then relocated to Canada. And yeah, it was released in October of 2012, so it's a nice sort of, 1 decade later sort of look. The whole album is brilliant. It's just one of my favorite all-time albums of the Psybient genre. And we're going to listen to a tune called She. And I remember I talked about in one of the videos that when I did most of my Psybient mixes that are now what I'm putting out as my Ambient Excursion. I mentioned it before, the Ambient Excursion was originally a radio show that I ran from like, I don't know, it was like 2014 to 2017 or something like that. Maybe it wasn't that long. Maybe it was just like 2.5 years. But bottom line, I put 2 mixes of this type out every week, and I was just uploading them, just putting more, and I was also in grad school, so it's nice to come back and appreciate these tunes. But I mentioned in one of those videos that occasionally Pure Radio, the internet radio based out of Amsterdam that my show was hosted on, occasionally they do like a special like weekend event, like a weekender as they styled it. And oftentimes, my regular show on the weekend was like 2.5 hours, but on a weekender, the regular time slots were sort of erased, and it was like, okay, each DJ gets like an hour. And so I would do kind of like a special mix where I was using like, because over time there'd be like, as I was making mixes, there'd be 1 or 2 tunes in each mix where it was like, oh my god, it's so good. And so when it came to make one of those special mixes for the weekender, I would often try to find and remember the ones that had really hit my brain, and okay, now I'm going to put these all in one mix. So one of those mixes that was a sort of special like event on Pure is the first mix in the Ambient Excursion series here on YouTube, and it's a mix called Look Up, and this is one of the tunes that's in Look Up. So in a way, Look Up features some of my very, very favorite Psybient tunes, like from back to front, or front to back. And this track, it made that cut. This track is in there. So again, this is one of my favorite Psybient albums. Again, what is it? The specific name? Between 2 Points. I was going to say Between 2 Places. But yeah, Between 2 Points is one of my favorite ambient downtempo albums, Psybient albums. And She is just a marvelous tune, probably my favorite on the album. So let's get it. This is Zymosis She from the album Between 2 Points on Alter Records up in Canada. And it's from 2012. Horizon sort of opening. Make sure we're not redlining. of like skipping across the melodic pond. That is the eponymous sheep. Either way, she's got a great voice. But keep an ear on that vocal run. It's going to do something very interesting. So many different layers already. Like the vocal run just like digitized and like twisted inside out. To say the syncopated rhythm of the tune, the beat of the tune, it's not like real standout, but it's exactly what it needs. It's like a very like tight, well-focused rhythm. Sort of tell like it's big, it's loud, we're gonna clean it up, it's gonna pare down, and in that moment I think the emotion kicks. While the acid bass is churning. asked an AI from the future to make music, I feel like they'd make something like this. 10 years ago. Amazing. I love it. Like I said, Zymosis, really love his tunes. And again, Unity of Culture, the one he did with Tentura, that's like one of my very favorites of all time, which is why I started the playlist with that one. But yeah, bottom line, love this album. Probably not the last time we've heard a tune, or we will hear a tune from this album. But yeah, so many amazing Psytrance tunes to go through in this context, which is very exciting to me. You know, we're getting close to Mix 100. I have sort of a special idea for that. Going to make a new ambient mix where most of the ones I've been posting are from years back. But yeah, I'm still very capable of making newer Psybient mixes, and indeed I'm intrigued about Mr. Zymosis' new album, or like it was like a year and a half ago it looks like. But bottom line, yeah, so I'm hoping to do a new mix for Mix 100 in the series, or Voyage 100 so to speak. But yeah, that just means that already there's so many mixes to go back through and think like, oh wait, this one would be worth talking about, this one would be worth talking about. And as I've mentioned, doing reactions, when I actually sit down in this sort of immersive context and I'm not looking at any, like I'm just hearing the music, sometimes these tunes are hitting me like in ways even beyond what they've already hit me very strongly. So yeah, looking forward to this a great deal. Once again, shout out to Kim for sort of highlighting this playlist and even like making a couple comments in video in like below other reactions and saying, hey, some of you should check this out. So really do appreciate that. But yeah, let me know what you think of the tune. I'll see you next time. Peace.